Chesapeake Energy is second only to ExxonMobil in drilling for natural gas in this country. More than 13,000 Americans work for McClendon, enjoying perks which, according to Reuters, include on-site Botox treatments. Now, Chesapeake also boasts a campus with 3 restaurants and a 72,000-square-foot fitness facility with a rock climbing wall. Now, while these goodies may have won employees over in the short term, it may have been among the first signs that something doesn't add up. He's front-page material now for papers like the Wall Street Journal, thanks to his perks, which include more than $1 billion in loans. Loans used to give McClendon a personal financial stake in every well Chesapeake drills. And the company drills a heck of a lot of wells, 2,000 every year. McClendon says this arrangement keeps his interest aligned with shareholders because, after all, he's got a personal interest in picking good wells, right? The SEC may think otherwise. It's launched an informal investigation into those loans. This is 2012, right? Post-Lehman, post-Bear Stearns, post-Enron, post-WorldCom, geez, even post-Corzine and MF Global. How can one of the biggest companies in America still be run like a personal fiefdom? And considering these deals have been going on for years, how can boards and regulators seemingly still be asleep at the switch? Andy Serwer joins us now, executive editor of Fortune, and John Avlon also here. Andy, it's a pretty amazing story. Not a lot of people know who this man is, but when they hear that, they may say, how can this happen?
It's amazing. I mean, Aubrey is super smart. He's charming. He has this business, well in hand. He really knows what he's talking about, but he definitely has the board of directors in his pocket. They're board of enablers. The price of natural gas has gone down. That's really hurt his company, and he's relentless. He just can't get enough, so he's all over the place. He's borrowing money, constantly trying to get more stuff, more houses, more lands, wants to be the king of the world, one of these people, and yet he just gets rubber stamped by the board again and again and again for the past decade, and now maybe coming home to roost.
And what are you hearing, because I know you've been talking to executives in the industry, especially when you start to see a company like this doing all these kinds of deals. It all comes down to people trusting where they want to do deals with you.
Yeah, people in the oil patch that I talk to in Oklahoma are saying, we're starting to back off, not to want to do deals with Chesapeake, not to want to compete against them because they've got very sharp elbows. Someone told me a little sleazy. Also, people on Wall Street starting to really pull back, not wanting to invest with them as well. So that's kind of a problem for them.
And he's a big donor, John, too, to, well, non-environmental causes, obviously, and also Republicans.
Absolutely. I mean, there are 2 Republicans on his board. There's nothing wrong with that. But the real point is the red flags that have been clustering around him for a long time. Here in October 2008, the year you say he had this huge pay package, he did a $500 million margin call that ended up sinking his shareholder price 40%. Now, that is doing violence to your shareholders in the near term, and got away with it scot-free. According to Reuters, he's made over $1 billion in personal loans he's received in the last 3 years. Now, if that's not a sign of imbalance in a CEO, I don't know what is. How many times we've got to learn this lesson over and over. It's privatizing profits and socializing losses within the context of a privately held company.
And yes, he's the founder, as you say. Yeah. A lot of people give him a lot of slack for that. You're the founder. You're the one who came up with this whole idea. But no one ever checked him. And shareholders, a lot of people, this is the second biggest natural gas company in America. A lot of regular people own this in their 401k. Right. Other people's money getting slammed.
It's other people's money. And they'll say, well, if you don't like it, you're a shareholder, sell your stock. But a lot of people own the stock through pension funds and mutual funds, and they can't help it. And the thing is, I challenge the directors to explain the full implications of these loans to the bottom line, to the net profits of these companies. And I would bet you that they cannot do it. So there's unintended consequences. And as your guy said, your source, very complicated stuff, and it gets more complicated and more complicated all the time. But basically, it has everything to do with the price of natural gas being $2 per 1,000 cubic feet now, which is, way down. So they're not making any money. That's the real problem. With prices going up, Aubrey's okay. Prices going down, Aubrey's not okay.
And instead, he just doubles down. But, I mean, how can this happen that, after all of those examples I gave, people say, seriously, this still happens? Crony boards, huge pay package. It doesn't matter how smart you are and whether you founded the company. How the heck does this still happen?
Well, clearly the incentive structures are out of whack. Once again, we've seen this over and over. I mean, here's the case of a board that doesn't seem to be doing its job and just policing the executive in question. I mean, what's been done is absolutely indefensible. And part of the problem is as Americans, we pay a lot of attention when there's sex scandals. But when there are financial scandals, we get a little bit confused by all the numbers, no matter how many people get hurt in their bottom line.
And here's the other thing, Erin. When the highest point of your moral compass is that you are challenging the letter of the law, right? In other words, you're going to push the envelope of the letter of the law as far as it'll go. That's your moral compass. Excuse me? You're going to get in trouble. That's bad stuff. I mean, never mind the spirit of the law. There's no spirit of the law here at all.